So who among you out there has ever had to endure this contraption? Okay, all right. I found my people. It's the Fellowship of the Boot. And let me tell you, I never expected this before, but if you hobble around town, it's a little bit like I picture walking your dog in a new neighborhood. It's this social conversation magnet. Sometimes people will just come up to you and they'll say, oh, what happened? How long have you had it? I had one just like it. Mine was even bigger. And all of a sudden, you have this bonding experience. And doesn't matter where you go. For example, I was down at a Home Goods in Glen Mills here. I'm strolling, hobbling really, through the aisle of the pillow shams, and I'm thinking, am I going to pick Sage or Arctic Fog over here? And at the end of the aisle, this towering, lumbering guy looked like a creature from Mesopotamia. He was just 6'4" at least, and he had a beard, a ponytail, literally a sleeveless leather jacket and jeans. And he goes, oh, honey, what happened to you? How long you got to wear this damn thing? And I'm like, I told him what happened. And, before you know it, this guy who I picture kind of crushing beer cans on his forehead is actually like telling me about how his Harley skidded out on a wet highway at night. It crushed his tibia. He had to have reconstruction surgery. So we're just like these war veterans that are bonding over this trauma and in the aisle at Home Goods. And so he's like, you take care, honey. It's going to be okay. I promise you'll be fine. So I left Home Goods with like a pillow sham, a tear in my eye, and this like renewed faith in humanity. It was, and these kind of things kept happening. Like I went to the CVS and to pick up a prescription, and the pharmacist spotted the boot and said, oh God, I remember then. I remember when I had a compound metatarsal break. I think she might have mentioned some medial Mesopotamia bones too, but and she said, it was a really dark time for me. It was hard to endure it, that many weeks of restriction. And she said, but you will get through it. Mine was much worse. Believe me, you'll be good as new. So, I leave CVS with this like warm feeling of orthopedic optimism, and then it even happens again. I'm at a Target hobbling around. I shouldn't be hobbling around so much, I know, but and this woman, she approaches me. It's like a sign that says, "Tell me, share your orthopedic past with me, please." And she told me about this very bad horseback riding accident, this high impact fall. She had to have pins, plates, the whole works. And people all have their kind of own sort of healing zen. Like she said, the body knows how to heal itself. Just be patient, trust the process, positive visualization. So I'm like drinking this all in. By the end of these few weeks, all this sort of good karma from strangers, I feel like the Dalai Lama of leg injury, lower limb injuries. It's like I'm feeling this good wave of positivity until I go to Costco Optical. I might say, what does that have to do with anything? Well, the hinge on my glasses broke, so I hobbled into Costco Optical. This woman, Marlene, who, very cheerful, very, very perky, looks like the kind of woman who'd bring baked, homemade banana bread to the breakout room. She spots my boot and she said, oh, what happened? And I shrug. I say, well, it's a fibula stress fracture. And she goes, oh man, the exact same thing happened to a good friend of mine like 3 years ago. And I said, so how is she now? Again, I'm expecting this warm wave of positivity and encouragement. She said, well, honestly, she really hasn't walked the same since. I kind of blink at her. She kind of blinks back. All I can hear is like the static of the fluorescent lights. And then in an attempt to recover, she says, well, actually, about a year ago, she was hit by a truck. And so, like, her ankle problems are kind of like the least of her worries right now. I'm like, yeah. And then, as though, I swear above her head, it doesn't say Costco Optical, it flashes to Costco Oracle. She gets this faraway, kind of creepy look. It's like I see the exit signs in her eyeballs, reflected from her eyeballs, and she kind of says, you know, I actually think she might have gotten hit by the truck because she was limping too slowly across the street. I like grab my glasses, hobble out of there, and so much for the fellowship of the boot. So sometimes the universe sends you angels of encouragement, and sometimes it sends you the Costco optical oracle of doom. So now instead of feeling good vibes, I just like poise myself on the curb, look both ways, and say, "Not today, Arlene, not today."